Welcome back to Half A Hot Rods. This week we're going to get back to work on Tucker's truck, the C10. We're going to see if we can't take a bunch of old used fuel lines like that and a bunch of electrical connectors like those and find them a home in this truck. Get everything hooked up and connected so that we can fire this thing very soon. So I went and looked on the Google and thought I had this wiring figured out for the fuel pump. So oddly enough, these wires, when you straighten them out, instead of going to the dual tanks, are going to reach the new Blazer tank. So that's pretty cool. And this fitting that was on the old tanks is the same as the one for the TBI Blazer. Not entirely unexpected, but still pretty cool. So I just got to figure out which ones to keep and cut the rest out. Should be simple enough, right? I'm glad I wrote these one way when I wrote down the colors and the other way when I wrote down what they are.
You idiot!
So tan and gray are both for pump. Pink with black is for the right sender. Pink with white is for the left sender. And solid pink is power into the switching valve. So in theory, solid pink should be power for my pump now. Why do I have so many plugs? Oh, because they plug back into each other, dummy. That's why. So those two probably went to the pumps. Gray was switch and pump. Tan was switch and pump. And pink was power. So yeah, really wish I remember how this was originally. Would make this a little simpler, because this has to go into one of these guys. Fits that one, and I'll bet you $1 it also fits this one. Pink is going to be power in. So I just got to figure out which two to connect.
That's no part way there.
I've only got 5, so, you know, some of them are bound to work. I almost wonder if I won't be better off to leave this until I've actually got a battery in it hooked up. I think that might be the smarter bet. Well, this is the first time you've seen it with the engine back in it, right?
It's exciting.
I think I got all the sensors put back in. I want to try something since there's both of us here. I'm going to try just waving air pressure across the oil pressure fitting down here, and we'll see if the gauge wiggles. If it does, we might be okay with the gauges that are in it.
Wow.
That would be much better.
That would be crazy if those gauges worked.
I've had a lot of them work. Now, honestly, I'm more concerned about the fact that the oil pressure gauge is aftermarket. It's not a stock GM gauge.
That could be good on the other side.
It might be, but
You replaced it, the truck broke down the next day. That's the way it works.
yeah, so we'll kind of try that. I want to see if that gauge is going to work. Did it wiggle at all?
Not that I saw. Do it again. No.
Nothing? I wonder if that's plugged up at the end.
It moved that time.
Okay, a lot?
I mean, it shot up to 25, it just went immediately back down. Barely moved that time.
Okay, well, I'm trying not to, like, destroy it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's moving up and down?
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
yeah, it's moving.
okay.
My bad. I had to get to that last good pump.
All right, we'll just have to redo the line, which is not going to reach. Oh yeah, it'll still reach. Okay, we'll just have to get a new fitting on the end. Well, that's good news. that means the oil pressure gauge should work. The other ones we won't know till we plug them in and see. I put these Ziplocs over the end of the transmission before I put it in. Apparently I beat the crap out of them when I put it in because they've got holes in them. So good thing there wasn't enough fluid in it to leak. Just put that nice new seal in that transmission. I don't want to booger it up by putting this drive shaft in there with something on it. Alright, that's good enough for government work. Good enough. It's good. Take it easy. Alright, let's get you in there. Come on now. Listen. You can do it.
You can do it!
Just go back to your home. You're too good for your home.
That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
There we go. Now she's slipping in there. There we go. And turn that to match. And then this should pull back out. Let's just pull back out. Thank you. Pinch it. Wait. Click, click. Click, click. Click, click. Torque. Drive line is in. I could hook up the speedometer cable too since I'm right here. You just go crazy. Why are you acting this way? You want to look in there and tell me if the speedometer moves at all?
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Okay. That's a good sign.
Does it matter that it moves backwards?
What?
Does it matter that it moves backwards?
I hope it doesn't move backwards. Alright. Come on now. Just work with me a little. Ouch. Let's just see where that puts us.
We're getting off the subject.
And now that we've got engine and transmission in it, that's real close to actual ride height where it's sitting now.
It's not right now, huh?
Yep.
What do you think? Be honest with me.
I'd drop the front.
Me too. There's a little bit too much space.
Yeah. I like them with this gap closed up. So if we brought it down, you can go a couple inches and still get it aligned easy enough.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can either buy $80 springs or $100 springs, or we can just cut the stock ones. And I've done it with reasonable success. Sometimes it takes more than one attempt to get the exact height you want because it's not an exact science.
Are the springs a little beat up from what we have? I mean, the ones that are currently on it?
It's really hard to say. I mean, they're, 40 years old?
I say we're just probably the ones that are going to go that route.
Yeah, I mean, That way they'll be the same. But if you're trying not to spend money, I've done it at least twice, 3 times by cutting them and had fine results. Yeah, it'd be better if we had the bed on it to see exactly how it's going to sit, but I would say that it's probably almost dead level now, if not a little bit down in the back with the shackles on it. Yeah, they're like 80 or $100 for a pair. You get like 2-inch drop springs and that'll close that gap up some.
Is it a hard job to take the springs off and replace them?
No, and we don't know if we're going to need suspension work up front anyway. So if we need like ball joints and stuff, we'll have it apart that far anyway.
And we're back.
I guess we start hooking things up, Hound Dog. What do you think? Should we hook stuff up? Why does it smell like poop? Did you come over here and fart next to me? Now the beauty of General Motors is most of these wires have different kinds of plugs on them, so they won't plug into the wrong place. And the beauty of most of these cars is they'll only reach where they're supposed to go. So we will. Don't you be like that. Just go on there. There we go. So you go there. He's going to go back there, maybe. And I marked all these so that I would know exactly where they went. I don't know what that does. Ground. We know where to put that. All right. And this is intake temperature. And that plug is just like this guy. So we'll put that there. Hound, I don't want to hear your attitude. And these are throttle body. Oh no. That's not good.
What's that?
Because that's broken.
I see that.
That is part of the injectors, which we have another one, but it was set up different. So I switched this one on here.
Is that something we can find?
Yeah, right here. It's the beauty of having 2 engines. We just have to switch everything back over to this one. I can't remember why I like that one better. Alright, these should be the same unit. I don't think they changed them for all the years they did it. Just trying to pay attention to how this comes apart exactly, because I don't know if there's an adjustment I have to make. Oh, that's different. Shit. That's why I chose this one. Well, let's see. Maybe we can change the top out. So I realized while I was editing that the camera battery must have died while we were doing the throttle body stuff. So here's what we did, just a quick rundown. This is the old one. We just took this top part that you see wiggling off. It's got 3 torque screws, 1, 2, and 3. Took that off and swapped it out. This is the broken one. And the gasket that was under it looked like it was okay, so we're going to run it. If it creates a problem, then we'll address it when it comes up. Looking back now, I think I could have just swapped out individual injectors, but again, I'm not super worried about it. If it creates a problem, we'll go back and deal with it then, and we know we've got at least one good one still. Either way, I wanted to pull it off the engine because I don't want to drop these little screws down in the engine and create a new problem. So yeah, we swapped out the top of the throttle body assembly, put it back together as one unit, threw it back in the truck. Here we go to the next thing. We did not figure out the home of that 4-prong plug, nor did I find this O2 sensor plug. So I guess we got to do a little fishing in here. I've got some stickers now, like the one I threw on this cup. So if you're interested in those, let me know. We'll just kind of measure interest on them, and then we'll see if there's enough interest to sell them, or there are certainly some people that I will just send them to because they've been very supportive and or they were involved in my production. So we got starter wiring we can hook up for sure. Let's just do the stuff that needs doing one at a time and quit jumping around all over the place. You remember how the starter wiring goes, Hound? It's always the same. Theory. What's that plug for? Oh, that's that other sensor down there. Okay. Too short. Or we got the truck set up too high. Because every time I start to do something, I got to do something else in order to do that thing. The first thing. The other thing. I don't know where my claw hammer is, so just disappear those. It's a little more manageable. Oh, a little. So on a starter, there's usually a couple wires, and this I want to say is 5/8. We'll go find out. The little one's always a funky size that I can never remember. So if you're smart, you take it off first, take it to your toolbox, figure out what size that is so that you're not running back and forth or stripping the nut or, other stupidity. Alright, Hound Dog, let's figure out what size nuts these are. 5/16. That doesn't seem that weird. You got a sensor down there on the side of the block. Just shove that on there. I think this is supposed to go through that metal tube back there on the transmixer. So we might try and jam it through there first. Let's see if we can manage that. What do you think, Hound? I should have done that before. Ooh. That doesn't look good. I think we just got a little insulation coming off, but we'll wrap that up right quick. That wire is not broken. My concern is that because that's a sensor wire, if I cut that, strip it, solder it back together, I may change the resistance in it. And I don't know if that sensor works on resistance or not. So I'm not going to take a chance of messing it up. Up here. That little guy should route these wires away from the hot exhaust, in theory. In theory. Uh-oh, I lost my nut. I lost my starter nut, Hound Dog. There it is. You can stop looking. I think it's going to be a lot easier to connect it from up here than down there because I can see. I think those should both have a lock washer on them. So I'm going to see if I can find a couple of them right quick. Well, I didn't have a lock washer small enough for that little post, so I just stole one off of Wyatt's parts truck starter. So if he sees this, I'll replace it. We'll see if he watches Dad's videos or not. If he doesn't see it, then he'll never know. 5/16 is a little bitty guy for fat fingers to hold on to. Alright. Good and tight. Okay, starter's hooked up, sensor wire's hooked up. Let's see what else we're missing. Oh, there's my temperature wire. Why don't you reach anything? You reached there before we did this, so why don't you now? I dug the temperature sender out from back here, but it ain't even close to reaching where it needs to, which means it's probably tangled or pinched by something. So that's not ideal. Of course, it doesn't help that I just can't see back there. Oh, you're wrapped around. Son of a gun. That's gonna be fun. Maybe not as bad as I thought. Come on. There we go. So somebody wrapped it around the loom, probably to keep it from getting in the way while the engine was out. Now will you reach? Oh yeah, we got plenty of wire now. Hot dog. How about that? So somebody had this temperature wire wrapped around the wire loom back there to keep it out of the way while the engine was out. That somebody's me. So I had to unwind it from that, and now we got lots of wire. We got it looped up around this breather tube to make sure that it'll reach and it won't get in the way of the exhaust. We put that on, so we're good there. Connect that guy. Just a little ventilation. I still don't really know where this goes because that is not the right connection for the O2 sensor. And that raises the question, where is the O2 sensor connection? Which I probably didn't mark because it probably should be obvious. I'll probably check this a dozen more times and find out that it's the AC that we're not going to use right away. And no, ouch, son of a... I don't see any unused plugs, wires. So I'm a little concerned. We'll figure it out, but I'm a little concerned they might be down there where I got to dig them out without seeing them, which is always a challenge. I don't know what that guy goes to. It goes to the coil, obviously, but I don't know why there's a plug on the other side of it. And this little fella.
He's losing it. He's gonna crack.
I got a couple extra vacuum ports. I think we're just going to cap them. I think I'm going to have to climb in there again. I really don't like climbing in and out. I need to find a home for that. I don't understand why it doesn't have a home. I do have a green wire down here. The end pulled off it. It is about the right length to reach that O2. I'll bet you $1 that's probably what it is. Because GM's pretty darn good about not making them any longer than they need to be. But we may have to Google that up and see for sure. Or we could just read up on it. Let's see how that goes. This is for the next generation newer, but they still have the throttle body injected trucks. So we can also find the answer to what that plug on the coil goes to, probably. Let's see. 88 to 96 engine controls, shifters, air control, transmixer parts, oxygen sensor lead. Oxygen sensor low? That says tan. I wonder if them changing that to an aftermarket oil pressure gauge left it without the proper feedback to tell the relay that it's okay to start it. Because it does run through the instrument cluster. That's not really what we're looking for right now, though.
Gotta focus, gotta focus.
Heated oxygen sensor. All except 5.7 4L80. We got 5.7, but we don't have a 4L80. Pink and white. Purple. This shows a 2-wire plus a ground. We don't have that. What else was I going to look at? Oh, ignition coil. I wonder if that's not a tack lead. It could be. White wire coming off the ignition coil is a tachometer test lead. I got one right. So, I don't have to worry about finding a home for that unless we put a tack in this, and then we'll just connect our tack to it. And everything will work fine. Probably won't. I don't know. Something just seems off. So I guess I'm going to have to climb in there and dig around some more. What are these guys? Oh, look at that! That's even the right kind of connector. And it's purple. This guy right here. Correct kind of connector. Purple. That's our O2. Okay. I don't know what that is with it, or why it's so tangled up here. I'm going to untangle this some and make it so it's easier for that to reach. Maybe. Or maybe I'll just put it somewhere where I can't reach it at all. That seems to be working out well. Hound, are you groaning at me? I don't appreciate that. Alright, so there's our O2. I know where it is now. That's good. Just found another connection that I don't know what it is. Confirm I do have the distributor all hooked up. What else we got? Still got this 4-wire connector that I don't know what to do with. I really wish I knew what this was. It's annoying. That's my trans cable. Snap. Where's my throttle cable at? Where'd you go, little buddy? Cable's got to be here somewhere. Why does it look like there's a hole where the throttle cable should come through and it's gonzo? That's not okay. Because the throttle cable should be out here just kind of in the way because it's a cable and it's got a plastic casing and it should be a pain in the butt to get it out of the way. So the fact that it's not dangling here in my face is concerning.